Metaphysics is a branch of philosophy that examines the fundamental nature of reality, exploring questions about existence, objects, properties, space and time, causality, possibility, and the nature of the mind and the soul. As one of the oldest branches of philosophy, metaphysics addresses concepts that often lie beyond empirical science, offering a framework to interpret the nature of everything from the physical world to abstract ideas. 1. Origins of metaphysics. Historical roots. The term metaphysics originates from Aristotle's work, which later scholars organized into a collection named Ta Meta Ta Physica, meaning after the physics, as it was compiled after Aristotle's works on natural sciences. Classical foundations. Early Greek philosophers, including Parmenides, Heraclitus, and Plato, delved into metaphysical questions. Plato's theory of forms, which proposed that reality is divided into the world of ideas or forms, and the material world, laid foundational metaphysical thought. Aristotle's influence. Aristotle's metaphysics introduced the concept of substance as the primary essence of reality, and a hierarchical view of being. Aristotle is credited with formalizing metaphysics as the study of being qua being, or being in itself, investigating what it means for something to exist. 2. Core areas of metaphysical inquiry. Metaphysics is divided into several core areas, each addressing different aspects of existence and reality. Ontology. Often considered the foundation of metaphysics, ontology investigates what exists, including categories of being, such as objects, events, processes, their properties, and their interrelationships. Identity and change. This area explores what it means for entities to persist through time. Philosophers ask, what does it mean for something to be the same over time, and debate concepts like personal identity and continuity. Space and time. Metaphysical studies of space and time investigate whether they are absolute or relational, as well as whether time flows or is static. Questions about whether the past, present, and future are equally real, eternalism, or whether only the present is real, presentism, are key debates. Causality and determinism. The nature of cause and effect and whether the universe is deterministic or allows for randomness and free will are fundamental metaphysical questions. This topic has implications for everything from human agency to the laws of physics. Mind and matter. This branch of metaphysics explores the mind-body problem, examining whether consciousness is a purely physical phenomenon, or if it has a non-physical component. Possibility and necessity, also known as modal metaphysics, this area explores the nature of possibility, necessity, and potentiality. Modal realism, for instance, posits that all possible worlds are as real as the actual world we inhabit. 3. Major metaphysical theories. Metaphysics encompasses diverse schools of thought, each proposing unique answers to age-old questions about reality. Dualism. This theory, most famously associated with René Descartes, posits that reality consists of two fundamental substances, mind and matter. Dualists argue that mental states are non-physical and cannot be reduced to physical processes. Materialism or physicalism. Materialism holds that everything in existence is ultimately physical. Modern physicalism extends this to include any phenomena that can be explained by physics and empirical science, often rejecting the notion of non-material entities like souls or spirits. Idealism. Idealism asserts that reality is fundamentally mental or immaterial. Figures like Berkeley and Hegel argued that physical objects exist only insofar as they are perceived, either by individual minds or by an overarching, absolute mind. Panpsychism. This theory posits that consciousness or mental properties are fundamental and ubiquitous in all entities, whether animate or inanimate. Panpsychism offers a perspective on the mind-matter relationship by suggesting that consciousness is inherent in the universe. Existentialism and phenomenology. These schools, especially associated with figures like Sartre and Heidegger, focus on human existence, experience, and the conditions of being. Existentialists stress human freedom, responsibility, and the subjective experience of existence. Process philosophy, promoted by philosophers like Alfred North Whitehead. Process philosophy views change and process as the primary constituents of reality, rather than static substances. 4. Key questions in metaphysics. Metaphysics is renowned for asking some of philosophy's most profound questions, such as: what is existence, and why does anything exist at all? What is the nature of objects and their properties? Do properties exist independently of objects? How do identity and change interact? Can an object undergo change while remaining the same? Are humans genuinely free, or are their actions determined by prior causes? What is the nature of time? Does it flow, or is it an illusion? Is there a fundamental difference between mind and matter? Is everything that exists contingent, or are there necessary beings or truths? 5. Contemporary debates in metaphysics. Today, metaphysical debates are influenced by advances in science and interdisciplinary fields. The relationship between metaphysics and science, metaphysical questions are increasingly informed by scientific discoveries. For example, quantum mechanics raises questions about causality and the nature of reality, while cosmology impacts debates about time and space. Metametaphysics. This field examines the nature, scope, and methodology of metaphysics itself, questioning whether metaphysical questions can be meaningfully answered and whether metaphysics has practical relevance. Consciousness and artificial intelligence. The study of consciousness and its relationship to artificial intelligence is a growing area of metaphysical interest. This includes exploring whether AI could ever possess a genuine mind or consciousness. Environmental metaphysics. With the rise of ecological concerns, metaphysical questions about the status and intrinsic value of the natural world are gaining prominence. Environmental metaphysics addresses whether nature possesses value independent of human perception and needs. 6. Influence of metaphysics. Metaphysics is foundational to various other fields of philosophy, including epistemology, ethics, and logic. For instance, questions about knowledge, epistemology, often depend on metaphysical assumptions about reality, such as whether objective truths exist. Similarly, ethical theories may rest on metaphysical claims about human nature, free will, and moral facts. 7. Criticisms of metaphysics. Despite its long-standing influence, metaphysics has faced criticism from philosophers and scientists alike. Empirical skepticism. Figures like David Hume argued that metaphysical claims often lack empirical support, making them speculative rather than factual. Logical positivism. In the 20th century, the logical positivist movement, led by thinkers such as A.J. Ayer and the Vienna Circle, rejected metaphysical claims as meaningless because they cannot be empirically verified or falsified. Scientific naturalism. Some argue that metaphysics should be replaced by scientific explanations, as empirical science increasingly addresses questions once thought metaphysical. 8. Legacy and relevance of metaphysics. Despite these criticisms, metaphysics remains a vital and influential field. It continues to provide foundational insights into questions of existence, meaning, and the universe that science alone cannot answer. Today, metaphysicians often work alongside scientists to explore questions on the frontiers of knowledge, such as the interpretation of quantum mechanics, the nature of consciousness, and the philosophical implications of cosmology. Conclusion. Metaphysics offers a rigorous intellectual framework for addressing the deepest questions about reality. It bridges empirical inquiry and abstract reasoning, challenging individuals to question assumptions and seek understanding beyond the observable. The field remains a dynamic area of philosophy, continually evolving and intersecting with other disciplines to expand our conception of existence and reality.